Okay, good evening, everyone. So welcome back to the session. So for the online guys, hope my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm your online whether I'm audible or not for you? Okay, so it was clear for online also. Fine. So in last class, which topic we have seen? DevOps intro, right? Okay. So before I proceed for the new concept today, is anyone new for today's class? Day one. Okay, you both. Fine. So guys, don't worry. If you miss the demos, we are going to provide the recording links for you. So what are the demos you missed? You can get that, as well as we will provide one backup for also. So if you want the demo backup, so definitely we'll provide it for you. Okay. So in the last class, we came to know that like few points about DevOps. The first point is, what is the main purpose of DevOps? As per the last class, the main purpose, like why we are using DevOps. To deliver the application? Fine. So here we have the running notes, so we can see it. Okay. The main purpose of DevOps is to deliver the application very fastly. So for to do it fastly, we gonna pass the deployment process. What is the meaning of deployment? The process of installing application to the, as a DevOps engineer, that is going to be our major work. So already you know this point. Okay. So before I go for the DevOps, we need to understand what is SDLC. So how many teams we have on SDLC? What is the first one? Development. Second one. So in development team, what we do? Plan, code, build, as well as test. So these four will be the development activities. And coming to the operation, we do deploy, operate, monitor. Correct. This is just a glimpse of the last session. So in today's session, I'm going to show you the process of deployment, like how to deploy the application in automated way and where we can deploy. Okay. So guys, I'm telling you, as a DevOps engineer, if you see the last session, what is the first role and responsibility we need to do as a DevOps engineer? If you remember this one, like I can go ahead and show this one for you. So let me scroll down. First of all, when it comes to the responsibilities and roles of a DevOps engineer, okay, of course, CI/CD will be the very, very important thing for all of us. But before that, you might be a DevOps engineer, or you might be a developer, or you might be a tester. Like it doesn't matter. First of all, you need to understand something called as architectures. What you need to understand? So we need to understand cloud architecture, server architecture, and we need to understand the. So in today's session, I'm going to teach you the complete real-time architecture, how the real-time is going to work for you. Okay. At the end of the class, I'm going to show you how to deploy the application also. That means here we're going to include both theoretical as well as practical part. But before I proceed, first of all, tell me, what is the meaning of architecture? In general, I'm asking, I'm not asking any technical term. In general, what is the meaning of an architecture? Correct. Architecture is nothing but a blueprint. For example, tell me one thing. If you want to construct a building without drawing the architecture, can we construct the building? No, right? So here also, if I want to create any kind of application, the first thing I want to do is I want to create the architecture. What I want to create? So to decode what is the architecture in simple term is, we can call it as simple blueprint. Blueprint of our application. That means how our application is going to be managed and how our application is going to be deployed. Okay. Simply we can call the blueprint of our application. Now all of you tell me, what is the meaning of architecture? Blueprint of our application. Sir, application can also be called as software, or even you can call it as product. Already we've seen in the last class. So now when it comes to the applications, guys, there are different kind of applications. Okay. Like I'm not telling about Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. There are some application type called standalone applications, client server application, as well as web applications, as well as distributed applications. So you might heard about the Swiggy, Zomato, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. But these kind of applications are categorized into standalone, client server, web applications, as well as distributed applications. So now in this class, I'm going to give the complete overview of what are the different kind of applications we are going to deploy in the real-time environment. Okay. So to understand this one, first of all, we need to understand the types of architecture. Guys, in real time, majorly we are going to have four type of architectures. How many kind of architectures? First one will be one tier architecture, again called as tier. So it is one tier architecture. Second one will be obviously two tier architecture. Third one will be three tier architecture. And fourth one will be n tier architecture. What is the fourth one here? N tier. So again, I'm going to explain this one for you. So architecture is nothing but the blueprint of our application. How many type of architectures we are going to have? Four. What are those? One tier, two tier, three tier, and so is the first point clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm, is the point number one clear for all of you or not? What is architecture and types of architecture? Okay. So it was clear from online. That was great. Okay, sir. Now you said about the four kind of architectures. Na? So here my first question for all of you is, you know what is the meaning of architecture? But do you know what is the meaning of tier here? So this tier can also be called as server, or even though you can call it as layer. So guys, remember, if I call it as tier, or even if I call it as server, or even though if I call it as layer, all the three meanings will be same. But for a simplicity, we can call it as server. What do we call it as? Why? Because this is the word all of you are familiar with, but tier and layer might be new for you. Okay. So before I proceed, what is the meaning of server? Can anyone explain what is a server? I think it is a common word what you might heard in previous days. It's a daily life word like what we can use. Sometimes we can call server down. Server is running out. So here my question for all of you is, what is the exact meaning of server? That's the question. Sorry. Network where people are connected. No. Wrong answer. Cloud storage. No. Again, it's wrong. Just tell me like what you know. Virtual machine. Okay. But unfortunately, server and virtual machine will have different meanings actually. Okay. So platform which responds to resource, where we host our code, a connection. Okay. Brain of the mission. Okay. So the correct answer is from the Samsung. I'm not sure what's the name here. So server is a mission which provide the specific services. So to explain it in a better way, I'm going to take the basic example. Okay. Have you ever visited to restaurants? Restaurants, right? So how many of you are from local here, Hyderabad? So what is a famous restaurant like that you ever visited? Paradise. Okay. Still? Only Paradise, huh? Too many. Okay. Fine. So guys, here I'm going to give you the best example of what is the meaning of server. So if you understand the smallest thing that which happen in your daily life, so the server definition will be same for all the things. See, for example, in this diagram, I can show you this one here. So let's take here, there are three different people who went to the restaurant. Okay. So the requirement of first person is to get the biryani. And the requirement of this child is to get the sweets. And the requirement of this lady is salad. Okay, so biryani, sweet, and salad. When the server asks the first person, what he say? I want biryani. Now server goes to the kitchen and bring the biryani or not, sir? then user one requirement satisfied or not. Now after the same server come to the child and ask, so what do you want? Like what you want to order. So what this child will do? I want some sweet. Again, the same server will go to the kitchen and she's gonna bring the sweet this time. In the same way, at the end, show this same server will come to the lady and she's gonna ask what you want for dinner today. So she's gonna tell, I want only salad. Now again, what this server is gonna do? She's going to the kitchen and she's going to bring the salad. Correct or not, sir? That means in the simplest term, what we can do is server serves the services. What is the meaning of server here? Server serves the whatever the user want, whatever the user want. Okay, it is going to serve by the server. So in real life also, if we can go, for example, I am going to the browser and I'm going to type Paytm movies. So my requirement is Paytm movies. Okay. So is the server serving me the Paytm movies or not, sir? Am I able to see Paytm movies or not? Just like the person number one requested here biryani as per our previous example. Okay. If I go and see, the first person asked for biryani. Server serves the biryani. Here also what I'm asking for the server, I want Paytm movies. Is it serving me or not, sir? Yes. So here second person is asking for the sweets itself. If you go to the presentation, what is the requirement of the person number two here? Sweets. So similarly, I'm asking for the server, serve me like Paytm train. I want to book the train tickets. So I'm asking to the server, I want train tickets. Is it going to serve me the train tickets or not, sir? Similarly, in the same way, here person 3 requested for salad. So as a person 3 here, I'm going to ask Paytm flight tickets. So if I type here Paytm flight, automatically the server is taking my request and serving me the flight tickets or not, sir? Is it clear or not? So in a high level overview, the simplest definition of the server is nothing but server serves the services to the user. Okay, that is what I can write here. Server serves the services to user. You can call it as end user or you can call it as user. Who is the end user here? I am the end user. Okay. So is the definition of server clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm is the definition of server clear for all of you or not? Why? Because lot of might from the like non-IT here. So don't worry, even if you are from non-IT or IT. So what are the definitions I'm going to teach you? These are going to be two simplistic definitions. As well as before explaining any technical term, first of all, we go for general life example. Just like here we have seen the server example, right? So like that, first of all, we go for general life example. So then we are going to convert into technical examples. Fine. As of now, you know that server is to serve the services to the end user. But server can also be called as tier or even though you can call it as layer. Fine. So whenever, if you go to real time, for every architecture, it might be your 1 tier architecture or it might be your 2 tier architecture. It might be 3 tier or it might be n tier. For every architecture, we have 3 common servers. How many common servers? So first server will be, I'm going to write as types. First server will be web server. Second one will be app server. Obviously, third one will be DB server. Guys, I'm telling this one more time. All these 3 servers, web server, app server, DB server, all these 3 will be common for 1 tier architecture, 2 tier architecture, 3 tier, and even though if you take any kind of architecture, these 3 will be common. Tell me one more time, what are the 3 servers that are common for all the layers? Web server or app server or DB server. And we have alternate names also. For example, this web server can also be called as presentation layer. Which layer? And this app server can also be called as business layer. Or you can call it as logic layer. And this DB server can also be called as data server. I mean like data layer we can call it as. It's not server, data layer. Again, I'm telling you one more time. Web server can also be called as presentation layer. App server can also be called as business or logic layer. And third one, database server can also be called as data layer. So tell me one thing, if I take 3-tier architecture, how many servers will come here? 3. For 2-tier, 3. For n-tier, that means it doesn't matter which architecture you take. It might be 1-tier architecture, 2-tier, 3-tier, or 4, or like n-tier. The servers will be same. Web, app, DB. So is the point clear for all of you till now? Online, can you please confirm, is the point clear for all of you or not till now? Fine. Okay, sir, you said these 3 servers will be the common for all these layers. That was fine. But what is the next thing here you need to understand is, so guys, I'll tell you this one. First of all, let's go and understand something about the web server. Okay, so first of all, I'll explain the types of servers, so then we can go for the architectures. So here, first of all, I'm going to explain about web server. Sir, web server also known as, here AKA stand for also known as, shortcut. Web server also known as presentation layer. Which layer? Presentation layer. Okay. So in real time, in this web server, okay, who will work here? You know, front end developers. What is the other name for front end developers? Correct. Say it loudly. UI UX developers. Yeah. So we can call it as front end, or we can call it as UI UX developers. Okay. Anything can be fine. So here for simplicity, I'm going to write here front end. Which one? Front end developers will work here. Sir, what is the purpose of this layer? What is the purpose of this layer? Means the main purpose of the web server is to show the application. Is to show the application. Again, I'm telling, web server also known as presentation layer, and the main purpose is to show the application. Okay. And in real time, who is going to work here? Front end developers. Sir, front end developers use what they will use means they use something called as web technologies. What they use? Web technologies. Sir, what are the examples of web technologies? Example will be HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on. Of course, we have some number of things, but I'm taking only this. So again, I'm explaining one more time. So your web server can also be called as presentation layer, and the main purpose of this application is to show the application. And in real time, who will work here means front end developer. So what they use means web technologies. What are the examples of web technologies? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, and coming to the tier, it is called as top tier. It is what we can call as top layer or top tier. So I'm going to make it as layer here. That means if you take any application, it will be the first layer for all the applications. Okay. So now this theory part is done. So I'm going to show it practically for you. Let's take any of the application. So in today's class, I'm going to tell you how exactly the applications are going to work in the real time. You can take Facebook application, you can take WhatsApp, or you can take Instagram. It doesn't matter. Okay. For the simplicity here, I'm going to take one application called Book My Show. I think all of you know Book My Show, right? So just I'm typing the Book My Show. If I type the Book My Show and if I hit enter, is server serving me the service or not, sir? Am I able to see the Book My Show application or not? So once if you open, see here I'm selecting the region Hyderabad. Once if you open the Book My Show application, tell me one thing. Am I able to see this application? All of you are able to see or not? Even though if you type the same thing called Book My Show in your mobile phones, you can see the same page. That means if you go to our notes here, so web server can also called as presentation layer. What is the purpose of this layer? To show the application. Tell me one thing. Is it showing me the application or not, sir? If I am seeing the application, means currently I'm on which layer? Presentation layer. Okay. So you can see it here. If I am seeing the application means I am on presentation layer. The main purpose is to show the application only. In this layer, if you go to real time, in this layer, who will work here? Front-end developers. Who will work here? Sir, what they will use means they use something called as web technologies. Like example, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That means whatever the code you are seeing in front of the screen, this code is completely your HTML, CSS, JavaScript code. This is how the every application is going to work. It's not only about Book My Show. Even though if you open any kind of application, the first layer will be presentation layer. Like if you open your WhatsApp, okay, after opening the WhatsApp, first of all, you will see the application. Just remember this single point. If you are seeing the application means that is which layer? Presentation layer. So in presentation layer, who is going to work in real time? Front-end developers. Who will work there? What is the purpose of that layer? To show the application. So what the front-end developers are going to use to develop that one? Web technologies. Example will be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So is the concept of web server clear for all of you know? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm is the concept of web server clear for all of you or not? And one more thing, guys, like if you miss the initial part, don't worry. I'm gonna cover entire thing at the end, okay? So don't worry about the missed part. Fine. So this is what exactly we can call as web server. So again, I'm telling one more time. So just open any of the browser. So type here, Book My Show. So here for the reference, I'm taking Book My Show application, but you can take any kind of application. So if I click here, okay, first of all, I'm seeing the application. If you are seeing the application means currently you are on presentation layer. Which layer? So this is which layer? Top layer for any of the application. So the main purpose of this layer is to show the application. Here front-end developers will work and they use something called as web technologies. Example will be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Of course, okay, sir. You said about the web server. That was very fine. So web server main intention is to show the application. But I'll ask you a question. If you open the Book My Show application, what is your primary goal? To see the application or to book the tickets of that application? To book the application. But web server can show you the application. But if you want to book the tickets, you want to use the application or not, sir? Here currently I'm on web server only. So this functionality is to show the application. But my requirement is to book the tickets. That means I want to use the application. Currently I'm on which layer now? So presentation layer will only show the application. But if I want to use the application, I need to go for application server. Which server? So this is the second layer of our any server. So coming to the application server, this is also known as, here AKS stand for also known as. It is also known as business or logic layer. The reason why we can call business or logic means in real time, your entire application code will be residing on the application server. So it is one of the important question for the interview. So if you are going with some experience, they will ask you in which tier or in which layer you are going to deploy the application code. What is the answer for it? App server. So your entire code will be deployed on which server? App server, correct. So that is the reason why we can call it as business layer or logic layer. But sir, coming to the layer part, it is which layer of the application? It is middle layer. If you take any kind of application, so for all the application, the middle layer will be app server. Okay. So coming to the purpose, what is the main purpose of this application? To use the application. That means to see the application, your web server will help you. But if you want to use the application, which server is going to help you? App server. So in real time, who is going to work here? Backend developers. Which one? Backend developers. Sir, what backend developers will use? They will use something called as programming languages. What they will use? Programming. What are the examples of programming languages? You know, Java will be first one. Python. Okay. C, .NET, and of course we are having some lot of things. Okay. So this is the information about the application server. Again, I'm telling this application server is called as business or logic layer. Why we can call it business or logic means your entire application code will be deployed on the app server only. Okay. Coming to the layer, it is which layer of the application? Middle layer. And what is the purpose of this application? To use the application. And in real time, who is going to work here, sir? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming. Example is Java, Python, C, and .NET. Now, if I go to the practical part, still now also you are only able to see the application. But if I want to use the application, I need to go to which server? But currently I am on. Sir, how you can go to application server? By providing the input. So to provide the input, you can use keyboard or mouse click. For example, I want to book the movie tickets for this particular movie called Gangs of Godavari. So what I can do if I click on mouse click? Are you able to see book tickets here? If I am booking the ticket means currently I'm on which layer? Middle layer. That means application server. Why? Because here I can book the tickets. If I can book the ticket means I'm using the application or not, sir? So if you are using the application, that means currently you are on which layer now? Which layer it is? Middle layer. What is the middle layer? App server. That is what I have said here. Okay. The application layer is nothing but the middle layer of our any of the application. What is the main purpose here? To use the application. So currently, am I able to use the application or not, sir? That's it. Okay. And coming to the working here, who is going to work in real time? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming. What are the examples? Java, Python, C, .NET. So is the application server clear for all of you know? All in. Can you please confirm is the app server clear for all of you or not? Okay. So it was clear for all of you. So till now we have seen two layers, web and app. So to make it more interesting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the complete information on the diagrammatical format. So what I'll be doing now is I'll just open this pane now. So I'll draw the diagram for you. So I'll be drawing here three diagrams. First one will be web server. This one. I'll copy the same stuff. Second one will be app. And third one will be database. Okay. So whatever the data I have given here, the same data I'm gonna write it now. So if you go and see here, I'll be taking the text. What is the first layer? So it is called as web server. Which one? I'm gonna make it some XMS for you. So it is web server. Okay. Sir, web server can also be called as presentation layer. Which layer? Presentation layer. Okay. What is the main purpose of this layer? To show the application. In real time, who is going to work here? Front-end developers. Front-end developers. What they will use? Web technologies. So we can call it as web technologies. What are the examples, sir? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this is what the complete information about your web server. So everything we have given on the single box here. Coming to the second one here, we can call it as app server. So app server can also be called as business, or even you can call it as logic layer. Anything will be fine. Okay. In real time, your application complete code will be deployed on which server? App. So guys, it's very, very important question for you. So remember this one. What is the main purpose of this application? I mean, like this server? To use the application. So in real time, who is going to work here? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming languages. And finally, what are the examples we can say? Java, Python, C, and so on. So .NET also fine. And you can use a lot of stuff here. .NET. So this is the complete information about your application server. Now here my question for all of you is, sir, if I want to go from web server to app server, I need to provide the input. What are the maximum inputs we can provide? We can provide the input from either keyboard, or we can provide it from the mouse click also. If you want to show it me one more time, see, if I take the new tab here, if I type here book my show, currently, if I click on this link, am I able to see the movies, like movies, images, and information or not, sir? Tell me one thing. Am I seeing it or am I using it now? If I am seeing means currently I'm on which layer? So if I want to use it, I want to go to which layer? App server. So how can I go to app server? By providing the proper input. So you can use keyboard or you can use mouse to provide the input. So if I click here, automatically I can go to one more layer. Are you seeing currently I'm on second layer? Am I able to use the application to book the tickets or not, sir? That's it. So these two will be the first two layers of any kind of application. Now coming to the layer number 3. What is the layer number 3? Database layer. So simply we can call it as DB layer. So DB layer can also be called as data layer. So coming to the layer part, it is the bottom layer of any kind of application. Which layer? Bottom layer. And coming to the purpose of this layer, the main purpose of the layer is to that is completely wrong, guys. It is to store and retrieve. Lot of people will think database is to store the data only. But after storing, we need to retrieve the data also. So the main function is to store and retrieve the data itself. Okay. Wait. Store and retrieve the data. And next one here, in real time, who is going to work here? DBA. That means database admins, or DBD. That means database developers. So anyone can work here. That can be database admins or database developers. Sir, what they will use? They use something called as DB languages. What they will use? What are the famous databases you know? First one will be automatically MySQL and SQL, Oracle, Postgres, okay, MongoDB and ArongoDB, like so on. So again, one more time. So like a last server will be database server. Let me write as DB server. So DB server can also be called as data layer. Here AKS stand for also known as, it's the shortcut. So coming to the layer, it is which layer of every application? Bottom layer. What is the main purpose? To store the data as well as to retrieve the data also. In real time, who is going to work here? Database admins or database developers. What they're going to use? DB languages. What are the examples we can say? MySQL, SQL, Oracle, and Postgres. So now let me add the same data to the diagram here. So if you go to the diagram, so in the diagram, I'm gonna mention all the data here. So server will be DB server. Let me increase some font size. So this DB server can also be called as data layer. Okay. So what is the main purpose? To store and retrieve data. So in real time, who is going to work here? Database admins or database developers. What they will use? They will use something called as DB languages. What are the examples, sir? MySQL, SQL, Postgres, Oracle, and so on. Okay. So this is the information about your DB layer, or you can call it as database server also. So this is what exactly we can call as 3-tier architecture. I mean, like before we can call it as 3-tier architectures, we need to call them as 3 common server for every architecture. Again, I'm telling you one more time. So the whole concept, whatever we've seen, I'm going to repeat it one more time for you. Coming to the architecture, it is nothing but the blueprint of our application. So how many architectures we are going to have on real time? 4. 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, and n tier. So a tier can also be called as server or layer. Coming to the part of server, server means which serves the services to the end user. Already we seen with the restaurant example. Okay. And coming to the types of servers, we have web server, which is called as presentation layer. We have app server, which is called as business or even logic layer. Third one will be database server, which is called as data layer. So coming to the web server here, so if you go to the diagram, here we have complete info. Web server can also be called as presentation layer. And what is the purpose of this layer? To show the application. Okay. In real time, who is going to work here? Front-end developers. What they will use? Web technologies. What are the examples here? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in the practical thing, so if I type here again book my show, okay. So currently if we go and click here, this is completely your web server, which is the top layer for every application. But currently in this layer, I can only able to see the application. But am I able to use the application? No. Why? Because the purpose of web server is to show the application, not to use. If I want to use the application, I need to go for which layer here? App server. So this app server can also be called as business layer or logic layer. What is the main purpose? To use the application. In real time, who is going to work here? Backend developers. What they will use? Programming language. Example, Java, Python, .NET, CNC. Sir, how can I jump into web to app server? By providing the input. So you can give keyboard or mouse input. So simply the page is refreshing and you are going to some other page. Currently, I am able to book the tickets or not, sir? That means I am on currently which layer? How can you tell I am on application layer? That's what the question. Simple logic answer. How can you tell I am on application layer? Because I am using the application, right? If I am using the application means I am on app layer. So for example, see, I want to book the movie ticket now. If I click on this one, so I am selecting here 2 seats. So these 2 seats I have selected. Now if I click on pay, so definitely it is going to ask me the details. So if I click here, go ahead and see, I don't want to add anything. Just click on proceed. Sir, here if you can go and see, is it asking the details of your email, mobile number, card and everything or not, sir? So now all this data is going to store on which layer? Database server. See, once you enter any kind of data, so all the user data is going to be stored on database layer. So this is also called as data layer. The main purpose is to store and retrieve the data. So in real time, who is going to work here? Database admins or database developers. So what they will use? DB languages. Example will be MySQL, SQL, Postgres, and so on. So again, even though if I want to go from application to database server, again, I want to provide some input. So again, that can be keyboard or mouse click input. So if we want to switch from one layer to another layer, definitely a input need to be provided. What are the possible inputs we have? We can provide input from the keyboard or even from the mouse. So now tell me one thing, is the complete concept of web server, app and database clear for all of you now? All in, can you please confirm, is it clear for all of you or not? Fine. So it was a great response from all of you online. Okay, sir, like you said, these complete things are fine. But here, what is today's topics? What is topic of today's session? It's about, but till now, what we discussed about the servers. So the reason why we spoke about servers means already, you know, for every of the layer, all these three will be common or not, sir? So if you have the complete clarity about server, then understanding the architecture will be very, very easy. So now if we come to the concept of architectures, what is the first architecture we are having? One-tier architecture. Sir, in the one-tier architecture, how many servers we have? 3. What are those? Web, app, database, or you can call it as presentation layer, business layer, or data layer. Sir, with the help of one-tier architecture, what kind of application you can develop? There is an application called standalone application. Which one? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of standalone application? Huh? You can delete loudly, fine. Single? Correct. Any example? Said the correct answer only, but any example for that one? Correct only, calculator. We can call it as. See, the meaning of standalone application means this kind of application will work only for single laptop. For example, let's go ahead and check. Again, I'm drawing the diagram for you. See, if I have the PC, it is my PC, let's take. So it can be like your laptop or like a personal computer, anything. If we have a specific application, so I'm gonna represent like this. If I have any specific application, okay, this application will run inside the laptop only. So these kind of apps are called as standalone applications. Which one? So in this application, presentation layer will be there, business layer will be there, data layer will be there. For example, to show the best definition, I think all of you know VLC media player, right? Tell me one thing. Can we install VLC media player on our laptop? And can we use them? Yes. So if I see here, if I tap VLC, first of all, tell me one thing. Guys, am I able to open the application or not? If I'm opening the application means currently I'm on which layer? What is the first layer? Presentation layer. Why? Because clearly I can see the application. Now I want to use the application. How can I use? By playing the videos or song, anything. That means I want to provide input or not, sir. So I'm clicking on media. I click on open file. So automatically I'm using the application. And you can see the video. Currently, where is the video stored? It is on my local laptop only. That means database is also on my local laptop or not, sir? If you can click on open, and if I click on play, is the particular video playing or not? That means you have all the layers. You can see the application, you can use the application, as well as you can get data from your local computer also. So these kind of applications are what exactly we can call as standalone applications. Which one? So to define this one, so here in this kind of applications, these apps will work on local PC only. Okay. And all three layers or servers will be on my local laptop or local PC. Tell me one thing. If I create this kind of applications, is it a good approach or not? My question for all of you is, if I create this kind of standalone applications, is it a good approach or not? It's very bad approach, I can say. The reason why I can say bad approach is, guys, listen, I create an application called Swiggy. I think all of you know Swiggy application, right? What is the definition of standalone application? These kind of applications will be presenting on my local laptop. Now tell me one thing. You went to picnic, for example, you went to picnic. You want to order some food. Where is the application? On your local laptop. Now what you are going to do, you are going to carry the whole laptop. Huh? A simple definition. If you want to use the application, you need to have your local laptop. Why? Because that application will work on this laptop only. For example, in that picnic, you have a friend. That friend gives you the other laptop. Is the same application going to work on this laptop? Not possible. The standalone application behavior is to work on the single laptop only. Now, if you go to any of the remote place and if you forgot your laptop on your local, like on your home, can we use that application? So tell me, is it a good approach? No. So that is the reason why we won't prefer this kind of application. Initially, in the 1980s and 1990s, whatever the application that people created, that will be standalone only. But when the generation changes, they find that this kind of application will work on local laptops only. So it's not a good approach. That is the reason why they moved to the two-tier architecture. Here, what is the disadvantage, sir? What is the disadvantage here, we can say? App works on single PC only. Which one? So which is very difficult to carry for all the places. Okay. So to overcome this one, later we used the two-tier architecture. Which architecture? Two-tier architecture. The better thing about the two-tier architecture is, with the help of this architecture, we can create the application called client server applications. Which one? Sir, what is the client server application? Means, see, in the one-tier architecture, as per this diagram, the application, the presentation database layer will be on single place only. That means it will work on your local laptop only. But when it comes to the client server application, so here presentation layer and application layer will be on your local laptop. So both the presentation and application will be on which are here local laptop. So I can call it as my local PC. Okay. But if you want to use data, so definitely we are going to come to the database server. That means here two layers, that is presentation layer and application layer will be on my local laptop. But if you want to get the data, so database will be on server level. So DB server I can call it as. So in the first architecture, we need not to connect to any of the external server. Why? Because everything is inbuilt on my local PC only. Do I require to connect to any of the server there? No. But in two-tier architecture, presentation and application is on your personal computer only. But if you want to get the data, definitely you need to connect to the database server. What you need to connect? Again, the best example is, I think all of you know Geo7, right? How many of you use Geo7 here? If you open the Geo7, you can see the application. You can use the application. But if you want to play the song, definitely we need to connect to internet or not, sir. Here also, you can see the application on your local laptop and you can use the application also. But if you want to get the data, definitely we need to connect to the internet. Again, one of the best example I can say it is Geo7, and apart from Geo7, we have the best example of banking applications. I am not talking about net banking. Net banking is something different, what we use. But if you go to banks, there are some special computers for the employees, and there will be some special applications. This kind of application can be used by those people only. Whenever if you go to the bank, what is the common dialogue you hear? Two common dialogues. Lunchtime, come later. Second thing will be server down. The reason why they got server down means if the database got down, they cannot work. Why? Because without getting the data, how can they transfer the funds? Okay. So these kind of applications are what exactly we can call as client server applications. Which one? In the client server applications, here presentation layer, or you can call it as web server. Web server and app server will be on local PC. Where? But database will be on internet. So definitely we need to connect to the internet to work on these kind of applications. Okay. What is the limitation here? In this kind of applications, what is the limitation? Limitation will be application need to install locally. Tell me one thing. If I install the, of course, for one tier also, we have to install the application locally only. Let me add this one. Limitation. Just think logically. Sir, if you install application locally, what will happen? Definitely some of your PC storage is going to be consumed or not, sir? See, in the one tier architecture, you are installing the application locally. That means your PC storage will be consumed. Again, in two-tier architecture also, you are going to install the application on your locally. Again, some kind of storage is going to be consumed or not, sir? And one of the disadvantages, every time if you want to work, again, you need to carry the local laptop. Why? Because where is the application here? You can see it, right? Currently, where is the application in my? So if I want to work, so definitely I need to carry my laptop to anywhere. Now tell me, is it a better approach? No. That is the reason why currently we are using the three-tier architecture. Which one? What are the limitations you have seen in one-tier architecture and two-tier architecture? All these limitations has been overcome with the three-tier architecture. Again, with the help of this three-tier architecture, what kind of applications we can create means web apps. Simply what we can call as web application, or even you can call it as web apps. Both meaning will be the same. So tell me, what is the meaning of web app? Simplest meaning. Yes, applications which will run over the internet. That means if we have one internet connection, that is enough to use the application. Tell me what are the applications you are using with the help of internet nowadays? Every application, let's take WhatsApp. Without internet, can we use it? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. Okay. If I speak something here, 99% of the modern applications. Okay. What are the applications we are having on the modern world? These 99% of the modern applications are completely web applications only. Which applications? What is the best advantage of web applications? You know, all three layers, all three layers will be on internet. Where it is? Internet. And the best thing is without downloading the application, without downloading the app, we can use it. Tell me one thing, if I want to use YouTube, do I really need to do we need to download the application? If I want to use the WhatsApp, do we need to have the application? I can use WhatsApp web. Or even though if I want to use something called as Instagram, directly you can go to the Google and type Instagram. You can log in. That means if you see the limitation of 1 tier and 2 tier. So in 1 tier and 2 tier, application must and should need to be installed on local. But when it comes to the 3 tier, do we really need to install the application locally? No. So this is the best approach what we can see. What is the best advantage, you know? Without installing the application, we can use it. Of course, I have written it here. Without downloading or without installing the application, we can use the application. And second thing means you can use the application anywhere. In 1 tier and 2 tier, definitely if you want to use the application, you need to carry your laptop, correct or not, sir? But in 3 tier, do we really need to carry the laptop to anywhere? It is not required. Why? Because even though if you are some any of the remote location, with the help of the internet, you can access any kind of application. Currently, you are here. For example, you forgot to bring your mobile phone. Can you use any other mobile phone and log into your like Facebook application? Can you access Gmail? So the modern era is completely having these kind of applications only. There is no 1 tier and there is no 2 tier. Majorly, we are going to work on 3 tier architecture. That means as a DevOps engineer in real time, you are going to work on this 3 tier architecture and you are going to deploy what kind of applications? Web apps. Which apps? And one more thing is in real time, in how many servers you are going to work? 3. Definitely we need to work on these 3 servers. Of course, we don't write the code, guys. We never write the code. But the thing is, you need to deploy the code on the servers and you need to make them combine together. Okay. So this is what exactly we can call as 3 tier architecture. So to represent the 3 tier architecture, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the different colors. So if you go and see, so here in 1 tier architecture, all the 3 layers will be on single place. So I'm going to make like this. Wait. To make this visually more clear for you. So 1 tier architecture will be having all these 3 layers together. Okay. Coming to the 2 tier architecture. So web server and app server will be on single place and next DB server will be on some other place. And coming to the 3 tier architecture, here every layer, web server is different, app server is different, and DB server is going to be different. So this is how we can divide them. So again, blue color is 1 tier architecture. In 1 tier, all the 3 layers will be on single place. Coming to the green color, it is 2 tier architecture. So in 2 tier architecture, your web and app will be on single place, database will be on different place. Coming to the next one, 3 tier, it is going to be representing on the purple color. So your web server is on different place, app server will be on different place, and database will be on different. Now you tell me, as a DevOps engineer in real time, which of the architecture we are going to choose and what kind of applications we are going to deploy. First of all, architecture. 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier. 3 tier and kind of the application, standalone, client server, web apps. So now have you got the clarity about the architectures? So guys, I'm telling you again, without understanding the architectures, you cannot work on real time. That is for damn sure. See, even though if you go for real time organization, if somebody asks you to work, if you don't know the architecture, you don't know where to deploy the code, you don't know where to store the data, you don't know where to see the application, then how can you work? Think logically. Without knowing this architecture, how can you work? Okay. So that is the reason in the initial days only, first of all, I'm going to give you the complete clarity about the architectures. If the architectures are clear, then everything will be fine for you. So now, till now, we have seen the theoretical part. Now I'm going to show you the practical part. So before I go for the practical, is the architecture's concept entirely clear for all of you? Everybody. Online, can you please confirm, is the entire architecture's concept clear for all of you or not? And of course, we have N tier, which I'm going to discuss on later sessions. Okay, don't worry as of now. Fine. So now, of course, 3 tier also having some limitations, Durga, but I'm going to discuss what are the limitations and how we can overcome in the upcoming days. Don't worry it as of now. Okay, guys. So now what exactly I'm going to do is I'm going to create an application. I mean, like not creation. I'm going to show you the how to deploy the application in the server. So currently, as of now, I'm going to create a server in the cloud. So this you are going to do on the upcoming days. Okay. So give me a second. Let me log into the cloud account here. Give me a couple of minutes, guys. I'm just logged into the cloud account. Just 1 minute, guys. Here the MFA code gone to the one of my student mail. Just give me a couple of minutes. I log in. But in the meanwhile, like I'm gonna show you the repository. So if you go to the GitHub, there is a account called Rahamshek007, and you can go to all setups. For example, if you want to like deploy the application, here I have the complete code. So if you go and see netflix.sh. So if I directly use this code, directly I can be able to deploy the Netflix application. Okay. So before I go to the main thing, so in today's session, first of all, I'm gonna show you the web server. That means here I'm gonna create one server. In that server, I'm gonna install web server. Guys, remember, if you create a server, okay, this is normal server only. You cannot call it as web server. You cannot call it as app server, and you cannot call it as DB server. Okay. If I install Apache, let me tell you something here. If I have a server, in this server, if I install Apache, let me text here. If I install Apache, this is what I can call as web server. No, sir, if I install Tomcat, then I can call it as app server. If I install MySQL, then that is what I can call as DB server. Okay, so this is what exactly you need to understand. Okay, again, I'm telling, if you create a server, that will be normal server only. But whatever the software you are installing, that is going to be matter. If I want to make it as web server, which one I need to install here? Apache. For app server, Tomcat. And for database server, MySQL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a just normal server, and in that server I'm going to install Apache, and I'm going to show you how to work with the application. And before that, have anyone heard about Apache here? So Apache is going to be your web server. In real time, you have majorly two kind of web servers. One is Apache, second one will be Nginx. So these both will be called as our web servers. So let me write it down. First of all, Apache, second one will be Nginx. So these are what I can call as my web server. And if I want to access these servers, I need to give the port number 80. So definitely it is going to be one of the interview question for all of you. Okay. What is the web server you are going to use on your project? What is the answer we need to tell them? It is Apache or Nginx. Guys, don't tell both. You need to give only one of them. It can be either Apache or even it can be either Nginx. And what is the port number? That means if I want to access that particular application, I need to give the port number 80, or otherwise it is not going to open for me. So, and like here a question from Durga. So entire servers are based on internet. So guys, in real time, all your servers are going to be on internet only. So definitely we need to create the servers on cloud itself. So Durga, definitely we need to create them on internet only, and our AWS is going to manage all of them. I hope it is clear for you. So Manoj, it is HTTPS. I'm talking about HTTP only. So you need to add some security over once you install the HTTP. I'll tell what is the difference between them. So let me log into my AWS console. So here I have logged into my AWS account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an EC2 instance here. It is my Netflix server. Okay. So I'm going to take an EC2 instance of Amazon Linux. Guys, remember in our course, we are going to learn Linux. Why? Because majority of the organizations are going to use the Linux as their major platform. So I'm going to create a key here, that is Netflix ABC. So you don't know as of now what is the process I'm doing, but in upcoming days, I'm going to explain how to create the server step by step. But as of now, I'm just showing like, just I'm creating the server, that's it. Let me go to all traffic. That's it. So now I'll be opening this server here, and I'm going to connect to the Mobex now. See, server you can connect here very quickly. So if we make this checkbox enable, wait. Netflix. and Amazon Linux 2. Fine. So my success, like here, if I go and see, my EC2 instance has been successfully launched to the console. So it is your server. So till now, again, I said, so if I create a server, that is going to be server only. But if I want to make it as web server, what I need to install here? Apache. Or if I want to make it as app server, what I need to install? Tomcat. But if I want to make it as DB server, I need to install. Fine. So what I'll be doing is here, I am going to connect to my EC2 instance here. So if I click on connect, so currently I'll be going to the keypair folder. And here I can paste my key. And one more thing, I have my keypair on my downloads folder. So let me copy it for you. So guys, you don't worry about this process. Why? Because this is what exactly I'm going to explain in the upcoming days. As of now, I'm just showing the web server, how to launch the web server and how to show the deployment for you. Hit enter. So here, if you see the simple code, so this is what I can use to deploy my Netflix application. If I copy this code and if I try to give it to my server, automatically the Netflix application is going to be deployed. So still I'm just going to connect to my EC2 instance. Just wait for a minute. I think it's taking some time. Okay, fine. So we can connect from even browser also. Let me go to the browser and click on connect. So guys, you have two different options to connect to any EC2 instance. One is you can use terminal. Second one is you can use browser. So currently I am connecting through the browser to my server, but even you can use this terminal to connect to your EC2 instance. It's taking some time. Just wait for it. It will work now. So again, if you go to the notes here, so guys, here what exactly we are going to install now? Web server. How many type of web servers we are having here? Two. First one is Apache. Second one is Nginx. And what is the port number of Apache here? 80. So in security group, I have given all traffic, so you can be able to like connect to any kind of port. So here I'm just logging to my EC2 instance here. If you can see, it's connecting, but seems the internet is too slow today, but it's fine. Basically, all these things need to be done before the class started, but unfortunately, like my account got blocked due to some reason. That is like it took this much of time. It's fine now. Yeah. So from the browser, I can be able to log into my EC2 instance. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to run the script that is to deploy the Netflix application and that is to show the front end part. Here, if you go to my repository, I'll be having the code here. If I directly copy that code and if I directly paste it here, so I can run this one. Now, if I copy the public IP address of my EC2 instance, and if I paste this on the browser, so automatically whatever the application that I deployed is going to come to my screen now. So if you can go and see, are you able to see the Netflix application here? It's loading. Wait for a second. And one more thing is here, you can see the live logs. That means how many people are using the application currently. If I open this application in the browser, automatically I can be getting the logs here. Are you seeing the logs here? So these logs will be indicating how many requests that your server is getting. Here it is having some cache. Let me try on some other browser. The application is working, but seems the browser is having some cache, like it's not loading. Just give me a second till load. So now if you go and see, is the application running or not, sir? Currently you are seeing the application. If you are seeing the application means currently you are on which layer? So this is the Netflix application what we deployed. But if you go to real Netflix application, if I type this one and if I click on this sign in, so this is what the real Netflix application, and this is the Netflix application that what we deployed. But if we can go and see, as a DevOps engineer, we need to automate the application deployment process. By running the small script, is the entire application got automated or not, sir? So this is what exactly we are going to see. So in today's session, we have seen what are the kind of architectures we are going to have. That will be 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, and n tier. So for all of this architecture, how many layers are common? Web server, app server, and third one is going to be DB server. So currently in today's class, which server we have seen? Web. So this is called as presentation layer, which is also called as top layer. The main purpose is to show the, sir, if you see currently, are we able to see the application or not, sir? This application is running currently on my EC2 instance. But if you type the same public IP address, here I am showing this one. If you open your browsers and if you type the same public IP address, even though you are going to get the same application, just open the Google Chrome application and type the same public IP address, all of you. And even for the online guys, I'm giving the same public IP address for all of you in the chat box. Just try to verify that you are able to get the application or not. So in the chat box, you can see it now, all of you. And don't type HTTP and all, just 34.207.151.61. Yeah. So are you getting the same application? Tell me one thing, currently whatever the application that I'm seeing on my screen, same application you are seeing. But if you try to use it, is it going to work for you? Just click on the login form there or click on submit button. Is it working? No. Why it is not working means I deployed only web server. What is the purpose of web server? To show the application. But if you want to use the application, I need to use the app server. So for app server, which kind of software we need to install? Tomcat. So that is what we are going to see on tomorrow's session. So for today's demos part, I just shown you what are the kind of architectures and what are the kind of layers. And we seen which layer in today's session? Which layer? Presentation layer. That means which server? The purpose of web server is to show the application. Are we able to see it or not, sir? That's it. So in tomorrow's session, I'm gonna show you how to install the Tomcat on the server. But as per I said, so Tomcat installation will take how many seconds? Only 1 second. But that is your tomorrow session. So now, before going for doubts and queries, my first question for all of you. So, how's the class for today for all of you? Architectures. Is it clear for all of you? Online. Can you please confirm how's the class for all of you today? Fine. So we will be sharing the previous demo sessions as well as course details also. Just give me a second if you go and see. So guys, the course whatever we are going to do in is nothing but DevOps with AWS course. That means in this course, I'm going to cover DevOps as well as AWS. Apart from this, Linux is going to be free of cost for you. So what is the duration of this course? It is 2.5 months. In these 2.5 months, I'm going to cover DevOps and AWS, and Linux will take other 1.5 months. So totally you can get this course up to 4 months simply. And coming to the timings, the class timings will be 4:30 to 6 p.m. daily. And you can go to the labs from morning 8 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. And coming to the fee structure of this course, 10,000 is for the class. And if you want recording, so you need to pay additional 6,000 rupees. And coming to the syllabus part, so online, here I'm gonna show you like the admin number in the chat box. You can ping to the admin. So he is going to send you the complete information. So if you want syllabus copy or like if you want anything, so you can ping to that number. So he is your point of contact for everything. So just ping to him in the WhatsApp. I have given to the chat box for everyone. Sir, if you have complete this course in 45 days, how many years? So basically this course will not complete in 45 days like Akash. And again, I'm telling, so coming to the projects, how many projects we are going to do here? 5 projects. So with this course, simply you can put 3 years of experience. That's for damn sure. Why? Because a lot of my previous students who is having a lot of year gap, they have taken the course and they went with some experience. So coming to the experience and all, don't worry about that. I'm going to guide you for all of you. So online, if you want to speak with me, just raise your hand. I'm going to give unmute option for you. And offline, first of all, any queries from your end as of now? Okay. So Sachin, like I have given unmute option for you, so you can speak now. And one more thing offline. So what are the questions that online is asking? Try to listen to the questions. It might be informative for you. Sachin, you can go ahead. Sachin, you can speak now.
Yeah, so I just want to know like this is like if we do that, we don't have to do the AWS separately.
Basically, Sachin, here the AWS infrastructure part is going to cover. Okay, if you want some additional information, you can join an AWS. But this course is enough to go for the real time. Okay.
Okay, I'm getting confused actually in that.
No. See, let me explain clearly. Guys, AWS is very big subject. Okay. So our course is majorly DevOps only. It's not complete DevOps and complete AWS. It is complete DevOps with AWS limited part. Okay. So here in our course, I'm gonna cover the entire DevOps part for you. But coming to the AWS part, how much of this DevOps required AWS, that much part I'm going to cover for you. So even though if you want to get some additional knowledge, so directly you can take the AWS after this course. But again, there is no prerequisite for this course. That means before this course, you don't need to learn any kind of thing. Okay, we are going to start from 0 level. Hope it is clear for you, Sachin. Fine. So next to Ajinkya, you can go ahead.
Okay, I have a doubt over here. Is just for so the layers what like first layer, second layer, logic layer, and the first one was for the first layer. So are there multiple layers in that?
That is what we are going to cover in the upcoming days. Okay.
Okay. And I was just having issues with like one tier architecture and the second, like how exactly they're gonna work with
So
those.
basically, we don't work with them in real time, Ajinkya. These are older models which you are not going to prefer. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So next, Mayur, you can go ahead, Mayur. Kiran, you can speak now. Kiran R.
Okay. So for practice for online students, can we get the TC2 instances?
Yes, I'm going to show you how to create cloud account. So guys, for our course, we need to create the cloud account as well as GitHub account and Docker Hub account. So I'm going to guide you how to create all of these accounts. So to create the cloud account, you need to have the card that can be credit or that can be debit. Okay. So in upcoming days, I'm going to guide you how to create them. Hope it is clear for you, Kiran.
Yeah, one more question actually. So
Yeah,
once the course is completed, if you write the certification, so are you providing any guidance or any dumps?
definitely. I'm going to provide you like how to write certification. Like I'll be guiding you with it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So next, Sunil Nayak, you can go ahead. Okay, fine. So next, Janavi, you can go ahead.
Hi, so I wanted to ask, you have just said that in the architecture tier there are 4 tiers, 1, 2, 3, and 9 tier.
Yep.
So in the one tier there is a web server something. So in the web server you said there are two servers. One is I think Nginx and one is other one. I forgot the name.
Nginx and Apache.
Yeah, Nginx and Apache. Are these two are the applications or what are those
These
exactly?
are the web servers. Okay, we need to install them to our server. Okay, so then only we can able to see the application.
So in architecture, in architecture type, there are three types, and in there in the server there are two more servers, which is Apache and Nginx.
So anyone is required. So basically, we are not going to install both of them. Anyone you can install. Today we install Apache. In upcoming days, I'm going to show you how to install Nginx also. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep. Fine. So next, Ismail, you can go ahead, Ismail.
Sir, good evening, sir. Good
Yeah. Good
afternoon,
evening,
good
Ismail.
evening. How are you, sir? Sir,
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
have a question about, to be honest, I'm a non-IT person. I
Okay.
don't know anything related to like the computer and thing and all.
Okay.
So, so is there any like, I have like questions like, can I do this or can I do like,
Definitely,
should I?
Ismail. So let me tell you guys, even though if you are from IT or non-IT, this course is from beginning. Okay. So here I'm going to start everything from the scratch. So your BTech graduation is not going to help here anymore. Why? Because everything what exactly you're going to learn here is new for all of you. So don't think you are non-IT. Okay. You are new to this course. That's
Yeah.
it.
And actually, like I'm not living in India. I'm living in US.
Okay.
So I have to like go for online and recording sections like recording. So whatever I learn from the recordings of yours. So that's the
Fine. Like
reason
we'll be
I'm
providing mentor
pretty
support for you, Ismail. Even though if you can't come to the class, you can contact the mentor. So they're going to help you from the online point. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So next, Durga, you can speak now.
Hello.
Durga Ranjan, yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sir. So my question is about the infrastructure which
First
we
of all, like Durga, I'm not able to hear your voice clearly. Like, can you speak a little bit louder if it possible?
yeah. Is it audible, sir?
Still, now also like I'm getting some low voice from your end.
I do not know. Maybe that could be a
Or
problem.
do one thing, like just ping me your question in the chat box. I'll reply
Okay,
from
I'll
there.
do it.
Fine. So next here, Rajesh Kumar, you can go ahead now. Rajesh Kumar. So Akash, after completing this course, definitely we are going to provide the course completion certificate for you. So no need to worry about that one.
Hi,
Sir,
good afternoon.
currently I'm learning .NET. I'm sorry, you are learning .NET. Yeah, definitely. See, it doesn't matter like if you learn .NET or anything. So DevOps is open for anyone. You can learn this DevOps even if you're from like working or non-working or even from Java, Python, it's completely eligible for all of you to learn. Can we join offline and online? Like definitely. So you can join.
Good
See,
evening,
guys,
sir.
currently if you are offline, if you want to go to online, we'll provide the facility to switch to you online. And even any of the online can come to offline whenever you want. So this kind of plan we can provide.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
As you said, you will accept it side project. That project will based on the laptop of project. And my question is, after doing this side project, how many years can show in the market and what the package the company mostly in the average package will offer?
See, Rajesh, package is going to be depend upon your knowledge as well as company's budget. So simply I cannot give you the direct value. Okay. So for on an average, the 3 years DevOps engineer will get 10 to 12 lakhs in an average. Okay. Again, it depends upon the skill, what exactly you are going to have. Fine. So next, Mayur, you can speak now. Mayur, you can speak.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mayur.
Sir, I am currently working as a .NET trainee
Okay.
in an organization. So basically, I hold always interest in DevOps. So can I learn parallelly while I am learning .NET?
Definitely, Mayur.
Because some of my colleagues told me that it's completely different and it won't going to help me in .NET tech stack.
No, it's not like that. See, DevOps is something very different and it is going to be very easy when you understand the concepts. Okay. It's not like coding, right? So it's going to be like, you don't see any kind of code here. So if you understand the concept, then that is going to be very good.
Yes.
And guys, for the course content, you can refer to the online admin. So I have given the number for you. So you can refer to him. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Praveen, are we there? If you are there, please send me the course content here. Let me try to add the course content here. Wait. Okay, then. So that's it for today, guys. In tomorrow's session, we are going to see the upcoming part of the architectures. So by today's, we can conclude this video and let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you. Yep. Definitely mock interviews as well as weekly assignments and daily tests are going to be conducted as a part of this course. Okay. For example, if 3 weeks done, if you want to test yourself whether I am up to the date or not. So we'll be arranging mock interview for every one of you for every week. So you can come and you can give a mock interview. Yep. So modern DevOps is 16,000 of fees. Whatever the course content there and here will be same for DevOps. But AWS, you are going to learn some additional concepts. For only that additional concept, you are going to pay 6,000 extra. If you compare the concept, that will be 3 to 4 concepts additionally provided for the modern DevOps. Apart from that, everything will be same. Okay. Fine. Okay then. So thank you everyone. So let's meet on tomorrow's session. Have a great day. Bye all.